Good evening and welcome. You're watching the News Hour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. 2 days after a 21-year-old Disha Ravi was arrested by the Delhi Police's cybercrime cell from her house in Bengaluru, today the police actually came on record and elaborated on the reason behind Disha being arrested. In doing so, they also gave out other names of people who allegedly conspired with Disha in the making of and dissemination of a toolkit for the farmers' protest. The idea, they said, was to spread disaffection against the Indian state by using this toolkit as a weapon.
On 11th January, Nikita and Shantanu, I repeat, on 11th January, Nikita and Shantanu attended a Zoom meeting organized by Poetic Justice Foundation in which the modalities of the Global Day of Action were worked out. और यह भी बात निकल के आई कि एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप से जुड़े थे ये सभी, जो कि 6 दिसंबर को क्रिएट किया गया था। दिशा की जो फ्रेंड फ्राइडे फॉर फ्यूचर नामक पर्यावरण आंदोलन से जुड़ी हैं, उसने ही ग्रेटा थनबर्ग को टेलीग्राम पर यह टूल किट भेजी है। फ़ोन का काफ़ी डेटा डिलीट किया जा चुका है और दिशा के टेलीग्राम चैट से यह भी बात पता चलती है कि 3 फरवरी को ओनर्स राइट लेकर टूल किट डॉक्यूमेंट से जुड़े अकाउंट और लिंक हटा दिए गए हैं। द इनिशियल एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ निकिता रिवील्ड दैट शी एंड हर एसोसिएट Shantanu and Disha had created the toolkit Google document.
Now, before we go any further, it's important to understand what is the conspiracy that the Delhi police claims to have unearthed so far. Let's just take you through the details of why this toolkit was made and how. This is what the police says. In December last year, Disha created a WhatsApp group to amplify the farmers' protest. This group had, among other people, Greta Thunberg as its member. Subsequently, in January this year, on the 11th of January, a Zoom meeting was arranged where a total of 70 people attended. The attendees of this meeting are an interesting roll call. It included a Khalistan sympathizer and member of the Poetic Justice Foundation, a lady named Puneet. She joined in from Canada. Another person who was also present is a man who has been under the police's lens for conspiring against India for long, a man named Peter Friedrich. Subsequently, a farm protest toolkit was created from an email ID which is owned by Shantanu and was shared by Disha with Greta over a Telegram app. So Shantanu uses an email ID which creates this toolkit. Disha then takes that toolkit and sends it to Greta. Everything was going along swimmingly so far. Things, however, got hairy when Greta unwillingly, remember on the 3rd of February, the climate activist unwillingly exposed that toolkit on Twitter. Nikita Jacob, Shantanu and Disha, all three started to live edit the toolkit on the 3rd, apparently to remove any objectionable parts. Subsequently, Disha then messaged Greta asking her to delete the toolkit altogether and eventually ended up deleting the WhatsApp group that she had been operating since December as well. Now, while the police says everything that they are doing is only as per the law, they have found that Disha was involved in the making and dissemination and the editing of the toolkit, which is why it was necessary to arrest her. However, the opposition is now calling this arrest of a 21-year-old activist, someone who's barely out of her teens, as a stifling of free speech and a danger to democracy itself.
I don't think that a tweet by a girl of 21 or 22 can destabilize India. Also, I don't find in the toolkit any mention of Khalistan. So it is to silence the youth of the country.
They cannot spare a 21 years girl, but they can spare only their nuisance created people. That is most unfortunate.
इमरजेंसी की तो कड़ी निंदा करते हैं, लेकिन आज आप 21 साल के बच्चों को पुलिस भेजकर दूसरे राज्य से बिना ट्रांजिट रिमांड लिए, बिना कानूनी प्रक्रिया का पालन करे, उन्हें जेल में बंद कर देते हैं।
Watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the debate, we have political analyst Sujata Paul, spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, Reena Gupta, Dr. Naval Kishore, national spokesperson of the RJD, spokesperson of DMK, A. Saravanan, advocate Sai Deepak, first question, national spokesperson of BJP, Sanju Verma. When you are young, you have a youthful idealism. Many people watching, or even those who are sitting on the panel right now, Sanju Verma, would have done some sort of activism when they were young. College politics, climate change, what have you. Does a 21-year-old belong in jail? Because who knows, maybe she was misled into creating and distributing the toolkit. She thought she was amplifying a farmer's protest.
You know, Padmaja, the fact of the matter is that the very essence of crime and criminal jurisprudence is based on the concept of mens rea. You know, before holding somebody accountable for misconduct or a wrongdoing or a criminal act, whether mens rea is established, mens rea, which basically means a guilty mind, a guilty intent, or complete knowledge of the wrongdoing that is to be committed before the act is actually committed. Now, in the case of Disha Ravi, one could have argued that, you know, being a 21 or 22-year-old, maybe she was not aware of the entire impact of what her actions would eventually lead to. But I was looking at and watching, the Times Now program a couple of minutes back, and it clearly showcases that Disha Ravi was well aware of what she was getting into. She was no little Red Riding Hood in the woods. The fact of the matter is that she tells Greta Thunberg in one of the chats, can you please not tweet the toolkit because it has our names? We could actually have the UAPA slapped against us. So the fact that she was aware that what she was doing could well come under the provisions of the Unlawful Act Prevention Act, that itself shows that she was no little damsel in distress.
Okay, so let's take this one by one, because Mr. Saravanan, being a lawyer himself, is laughing at the legal point that you are making. Why? Why? Saravanan, why are you laughing? Because that chat exists, according to the police, where you have a Disha telling Greta Thunberg, please delete it, we could have UAPA against us. So the gravity of what was happening was not lost on her. Saravanan.
No, Padmaja, I don't think it is the gravity of what they have done. It is the gravity of the fury of the government. They are aware that whatever they would do, because this government has a long list of things they have done against the climate activists, the NGOs, the political activists who are still in jail. That irony is not lost. Even though she was 21, that irony was not lost on her. And that is why she says, please don't put my name. The government will slap UAPA on me. She knows what extent the government could go to stifle legitimate
There is a video of hers, a Zoom video where she's in conversation with Mo Dhaliwal,
are you the prosecutor or are you the
Khalistani
investigating officer?
sympathizer.
You are a video
How do you
spokesperson. How
explain
did you
the
get all this
Zoom video
information?
where she is in
why should the
conversation with a
investigation
known
reveal all these
Khalistani
details
sympathizer,
right now?
Mo Dhaliwal?
Why should the investigation
People like
reveal
you
all these details
who do not
right
condemn
now?
those who stand up
See, the
against
thing
the
is this.
motherland.
The
I think
BJP
you're not just committing a crime, it is a sin. And what is this whole halablu about being 21?
Supporting farmers is not a
Excuse me,
sin.
Ajmal Kasab was
Probably according to
21
BJP's
in 2008
supporting a
when he
farmer
carried
would be
out
a
the
sin,
ghastly
but
Mumbai
supporting a
terror
farmer
attack.
is the greatest
Yesterday we
act of valor.
celebrated 2 years of that
Right
ghastly
now.
Pulwama attack. And the perpetrator Adil Ahmed.
Okay, no. Let's stick to specifics. Let's stick to specifics before we go into the, at the outset, your age cannot be a function of your innocence, cannot guarantee innocence or otherwise. Because remember, now we've also gotten a law where even juvenile offenders are to be held responsible for their actions. They have to face consequences for their actions if they are heinous. So age does not guarantee innocence or otherwise. But answer this, Sanju Verma. You are quoting this chat between Disha and Greta where she says, can you not tweet the toolkit at all? Can we just not say anything for a while? I'm going to talk to lawyers. I'm sorry, but our names are on it. We can literally get UAPA against us. Sarvanan says it's only because as a person growing up in this new India, she feels resistance, legit resistance will meet with the heavy hand of a vindictive government. You're reading it one way, he's reading it another way.
Is that necessary at all?
No, just a second, let her answer.
Let me tell you, Padmaja,
Yes.
there are some things in life where it is not a question. There are some things in life where you have to take a stand. It is either black or white. There are certain areas in life where there is no gray. And this is one such area. She was not chatting or authoring the WhatsApp chats or sending messages on Telegram to assemble IKEA furniture. She was not doing it to have a normal conversation which somebody who's barely out of her teens would do. She was well aware of the gravity and the consequences of what she was about to do. That is precisely what I said in my opening remarks. And don't forget that people ask what was so incendiary about the toolkit. In the toolkit, there is clear evidence where Greta and Disha Ravi have spoken and said that we have to say that due to police firing, 250 farmers lost their lives at the height of a protest, which is making global headlines. For somebody to engage in tweet storms with a malafide intent to defame your motherland, if you're saying that does not qualify for treason, that does not qualify for sedition, then excuse me,
Reena Gupta, and yet you've got your party saying it's an extrajudicial kidnapping. Here is somebody whose associates have been in a meeting, a virtual meeting, with members of the Poetic Justice Foundation. Here is somebody who is disseminating a toolkit which has got absolute falsehoods and anti-India propaganda. Can you then still assume innocence? And when action is taken, you say it's a kidnapping. Reena Gupta. Is that not subverting the law?
First of all, one has to differentiate between what is dissent and what is sedition. We are still living in a democracy in this country. And in democracy, we all have a right to ask questions of this government. Any right-thinking individual in this country has a right to ask questions. And if you look at, the standard operating procedure of this government...
No, ma'am, just to pause you there for a second. You are saying we have to differentiate between dissent and deshdroh or sedition.
Absolutely.
But the contents of this toolkit, which the BJP spokesperson has just quoted, according to you is dissent, where factually incorrect statements are used saying the Indian government has unleashed brute force and people are being fired upon. According to you, that constitutes as legitimate dissent?
But that is a fact, no? This government has been doing this. They've been putting activists behind bars. Anybody who asks them questions, they call people Pakistani and Khalistani and terrorists. And what they've done? Look at the whole absurdity of this government. They are actually trying to convert India into Pakistan and China.
Ma'am, let's stick to facts and not go into the realm of rhetoric, because there is no stopping that. I again want to ask you specifically about the contents of this particular toolkit. You are saying the official stand of the Aam Aadmi Party is that it constitutes legitimate dissent.
In China and Pakistan.
Ma'am, why are we getting in China and Pakistan? We do not have to compare ourselves with those countries. We can deal with our own problems. As a national party, we can limit ourselves to what is happening in our country. We don't need to compare ourselves to anyone else. But you made the distinction between dissent and sedition. Sai Deepak wants to make a legal rebuttal to that. Yes, go on, Sai Deepak.
I will just read out the short order passed by the court yesterday so that quite a few issues become clear. The first point that is being made in the public domain is that Disha Ravi did not get proper legal representation. The order clearly records that Shri Pramod Singh was present for the accused, and the accused in this case is Disha Ravi. Second, what is the basis on which the order was passed by the court? I'll just read out the relevant portion. It is stated by the investigating officer that the PC of the accused is necessary on the ground that efforts to be made to recover the deleted WhatsApp group having vital information with the help of accused Disha A. Ravi. Other devices, mobiles used in the offense are to be recovered on her instance. It is further stated that for proper investigation, her detailed interrogation is required to get information about the pro-Khalistani group Poetic Justice Foundation, and their active members are to be identified. Therefore, point number 1, Disha Ravi was represented in court. No right of hers under Article 22 of the Constitution was violated. Point number 2, it is not a blanket order that has been passed by the court. The specific instance is that she deleted a WhatsApp group. Second, her PC and other mobile devices have to be recovered to understand who did she contact, who was she in touch with. 3, the specific purpose of the investigation is to identify who? The pro-Khalistani members who were working with her. So what does this mean? Had she simply created a toolkit to participate in the protests, the fact of the matter is it would have fallen within the domain of dissent, period. It wouldn't have been seditious. What changes this particular equation and what changes the calculus and this picture is that there are certain pro-Khalistani elements who got in touch with her and who used her perhaps as an instrumentality. Whether Disha Ravi knowingly or unknowingly participated in it is a matter of trial, it's for investigation. But the presence and active participation of pro-Khalistani elements, specifically the Poetic Justice Foundation, is the reason for this particular discussion.
It is not about what you did, it was about who is behind it. Who was the sponsor? Where did the idea of this toolkit originate in that Zoom meeting, Reena Gupta, which must be the focus? You would possibly be doing toolkits, the BJP would be doing, the Congress would be doing, the RJD would be doing, but I'm pretty certain that in your toolkit, you would not say, go and ghair out the high commissions. You would not say in your toolkit, Aam Aadmi Party should go and protest against a government that is descending into fascism, and we must rescue it. So there is that distinction that needs to be made. And subsequently, if you did distribute that toolkit, Reena Gupta, through your WhatsApp group, would you delete it once a police investigation starts? Please answer that. Reena Gupta.
So Padmaja, so what you're saying and what esteemed lawyer on the panel is saying, that protesting against the government is equal to sedition? Asking people to gather for peaceful protest, is that
no,
sedition?
madam, we are not saying that. We are saying participating in a call, in a meeting with an anti-India element like the Poetic Justice Foundation and a Khalistan sympathizer is definitely a crime.
So everybody by this government is labeled a Khalistan sympathizer. Everybody is labeled a terrorist.
Madam, everybody is not. The Poetic Justice Foundation, whose founder Mo Dhaliwal is on a record saying that we deserve a separate state of Khalistan. They are being called Khalistan sympathizers. Not you, not Disha Ravi. Puneet was a member of the Poetic Justice Foundation.
What are the links and what is the role played by Khalistanis as far as this particular agitation is concerned?
So
who has branded Disha Ravi a Khalistani?
To arrest Disha Ravi is to actually divert attention from the fact.
Ma'am, you're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. According to you, is it okay to participate in a meeting where non-Khalistan sympathizers are present? According to the Aam Aadmi Party, is it okay to participate in a meeting maybe tomorrow with somebody who seeks secessionism in another part of our country? Is it, according to you, dissent? That you sit with an ISI sympathizer or a Khalistan sympathizer?
Absolutely not. But labeling anybody who asks questions,
nobody is being labeled.
That is absolutely wrong, and that is not.
Ma'am, you're still not answering the question.
Disha Ravi has a tradition of asking questions of the government, of asking questions who are in power, and also protesting peacefully against policies that are against the people of this country.
Ma'am, you're still not answering the specific question. I want to keep asking this again. Since you have said that for somebody to participate in a meeting where known anti-India elements is not acceptable to you, that is exactly how the thread leads to Disha Ravi. You had a member of the Poetic Justice Foundation, a lady called Puneet, who on the 11th of January was present in a virtual meeting where you had also Shantanu and another lady who are collaborators of Disha Ravi present. And it's after all of that that this toolkit was made. Hence, the investigation is leading to Disha Ravi. Why are you in haste to give her a clean chit? Shouldn't you let the investigation at least proceed? And that's the question I want to put to Dr. Naval Kishore. The investigation should happen. The circumstances are there, Dr. Naval Kishore, and कोई नहीं कह रहा है कि दिशा रवि खालिस्तानी है, वो बस ये कह रहे हैं कि उनके दोस्त और कोलैबोरेटर्स खालिस्तान सिंपथाइजर्स के साथ मीटिंग कर रहे थे। क्यों? इस बात की जांच होनी चाहिए। आप मानते हैं या नहीं डॉक्टर नावल किशोर?
नहीं, देखिए सबसे पहले आपको पहले पृष्ठभूमि का भी जानकारी होना चाहिए। और क्यों कहते हैं हम लोग क्यों कहते हैं कि ये सरकार ऑटोक्रेटिक है और वैसे सारे वॉइस को दबाना चाहती है, जो डिसेंट है, जो क्वेश्चन करता है। इसका एक पूरा इतिहास है। जब से यह सरकार आई है 2014 से, आप देखें तो जो भी उनके खिलाफ में कोई आवाज उठाता है, चाहे वो कितना भी घटिया कानून बनाते हो, चाहे वो कितनी भी खराब काम करते हो, अगर कोई भी सवाल पूछता है,
आप जेनेरिक क्यों बात कर रहे हैं? मैं आपसे एक बहुत स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल देके आपसे स्पेसिफिक सवाल पूछ रही हूँ। आप 2014 से जेनेरिक आर्गुमेंट क्यों दे रहे हैं? दिशा रवि की बात कीजिए, पोएटिक जस्टिस फाउंडेशन की बात कीजिए और पुनीत की बात कीजिए।
अगर आप सवाल बीजेपी ऑफिस से लेकर आए हैं तब तो उसका जवाब भी आपके पास होगा।
सर, मैं तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन से रिलेटेड सवाल पूछ रही हूँ ना। आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन से रिलेटेड कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे।
आप सुन तो लीजिए पहले, बताइए ये बात। मैं सिर्फ आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि अगर सवाल उठ रहा है सरकार के इस तरह के कर्तव्यों पर, तो उसकी एक पृष्ठभूमि है। जो लोग भी आंदोलन करते हैं, जो भी उनके खिलाफ बोलते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री से लेके एक बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता उसको कहता है कि देशद्रोही है। और नौजवानों को आपने देखा होगा, आप तो न्यूज एंकर है और पूरा न्यूज आप चलाते हैं अपने हिसाब से। आपने जेएनयू को देखा होगा, जामिया को देखा होगा, तमाम तरह के इस तरह की बात की गई और उसमें दिल्ली पुलिस की जगह थी वहां पर। और आपने यह भी देखा होगा कि जब भी आंदोलन तूल पकड़ता है,
अच्छा,
चाहे सीए के खिलाफ में हो, चाहे एनआरसी के खिलाफ में हो, चाहे आप की बात करें, तो डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने की कोशिश की जाती है।
ओके, तो इनका कहना है कि फ्राइडेज फॉर फ्यूचर which was run in India by Disha is the new JNU। JNU ने आवाज उठाई, उनको दबा दिया गया। अब यहां पर फ्राइडेज फॉर फ्यूचर्स ने आवाज उठाई है, दिशा ने आवाज उठाई है, उनके लिए उनको दबाया जा रहा है। संजू वर्मा, देयर इज अ पैटर्न।
पद्मजा जी, ओके, मैंने ये बात पहले भी कही थी और मैं आज दोबारा दोहराना चाहती हूं आपके शो पर। जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने राज्यसभा में कहा था कि हमारा दुर्भाग्य यह है कि हमारे देश का जो विपक्ष है वो समस्या का हिस्सा तो बनना चाहता है पर समाधान का माध्यम नहीं
हमारा दुर्भाग्य ये है
कि
देश का प्रधानमंत्री कोई समस्या का समाधान नहीं
ढूंढते हैं हिंदी में कि मोदी सरकार का फंडा सिंपल है, गद्दारों से दोस्ती नहीं और दोस्तों से गद्दारी नहीं। मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहती हूँ, ऑटोक्रेसी और ऑटोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट आपने बहुत बड़ी बड़ी बातें कह दी। Who brought in the first amendment? फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट 1951 में कौन लेकर आए थे? जवाहरलाल नेहरू। 1988 में एंटी डेफेमेशन बिल कौन लाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे? मीडिया की फ्रीडम को दबाने के लिए राजीव गांधी। राजीव गांधी कहां से है? कांग्रेस के। जवाहरलाल नेहरू थे कांग्रेस के। 1980 में जब जगन्नाथ मिश्रा चीफ मिनिस्टर थे बिहार के, उनको क्या कहा गया था? इंदिरा गांधी ने कहा कि जो भी अखबार कांग्रेस के खिलाफ लिखे उसकी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिस्कनेक्ट कर दो। हमने आज तक ये सब नहीं कहा। डिसेंट और सेडिशन के बीच में अंतर जानिए। शर्जील इमाम ये आपके लिए देशभक्त है। उमर खालिद ये आपके लिए देशभक्त है। आम आदमी पार्टी की निकिता जेकब जो ये टूल किट के षड्यंत्र में शामिल थी, क्या ये
okay, Sai Deepak, please come in on the legal point because it is being argued that okay, Disha Ravi may have participated, maybe she did not know, because let's be fair, she was not in that Zoom meeting with the Poetic Justice Foundation member. Maybe she was misled. Then to slap sedition on her is a case of overreaction and overreach.
So there are 3 points that I think people must be made aware of. The primary legislation that is being invoked against Disha Ravi, UAPA, came out on 30th of December 1967. 4th of March 1967, it was Srimati Indira Gandhi's government that came back into power. Therefore, this is a legislation that was specifically brought in under a specific dispensation. And until 2004, I don't think anybody did anything about amending this particular legislation or removing this particular legislation. In 2008, an amendment was brought in that was again brought in by the Congress government. I'll leave it at that. Second, as far as Disha Ravi is concerned, I don't think it is fair to brand her a Khalistani at this particular stage.
Yeah.
Anybody who does that is actually jumping the gun. However, the order is crystal clear that she is being probed for the links of Khalistanis with this particular movement and their role in this particular issue. Anybody who tries to scuttle this investigation and who says that the investigation must not be carried out is trying to provide cover fire for Khalistanis. Period. There is no other conclusion that we can come to.
Sujata
People
Paul.
don't want the Khalistani link to be exposed.
And why are you rushing to give a clean chit? It's an investigation, period. Nobody is calling her Khalistani, but there was an element associated to her that also cannot be denied. All the police is saying is, we are going to probe. Let us.
She is the only person who can answer those questions.
There are a few points that I'd like to make, and which is, I'm not going into the legalities of the transit remand, etc., etc. Please listen to me, and I hope I will not be interrupted. I've waited patiently. The government which came rising into power, can I speak, please? A government which came rising into power on the wings of religion and nationalism. We thought that there were seditious elements in Jammu and Kashmir majorly. But today, this government has proved that in spite of its nationalist agenda, the young, according to them, the young are not nationalists anymore.
Ma'am, I would prefer if you stuck to the legal angles, because otherwise we'll just have a lot of rhetorical bhashanbazi. So let's just stick to the legal angles. I want to bring in the next point of Nikita Jacob. Now everyone is saying that there is nothing malified here. I want to show to you an undertaking that was given by Miss Nikita Jacob, who is known to Disha Ravi and who had said that she would present herself for further investigation to the police. And this was done on the 11th of February. Since then, this lady has gone missing. Disha Ravi deletes a WhatsApp group. Nikita Jacob goes missing. Why? Why? If there is nothing malified, what is going on?
She has, Nikita Jacob, I think all news channels are saying that she has moved. So let us be patient. Now, as far as
also the law enforcement should be patient, but you do not have to show any patience in handing out clean chits or otherwise.
DSP Devinder Singh, he did not put an addition case on him. Do you know the section which is there?
Ma'am, can you please stick to the legality and the legal points instead of going off on different tangents? We will do another show altogether to talk about Devinder Singh. Please talk about the legal aspects of this case. Why did Disha Ravi delete a WhatsApp group? Why does she tell Greta Thunberg we are going to invite UAPA? Why does Nikita Jacob go missing despite promising to cooperate with the investigation? Do you have answers to these specifics? If everything is above board.
You've been 21 and I have been 21, and I know that we were impassioned individuals at that age. And when something like this is happening, there is a voice of dissent. We should have to be able to
impassioned? Ma'am, by all means be impassioned, but at least be responsible for your actions. You're saying that you are impassioned enough to speak for a cause, but you are not impassioned enough to check the background of the causes you're associating with. So are you expecting us to take a young 21-year-old as a responsible thinking adult, or somebody who's going into causes without realizing its consequences and its background? You can't have it both ways. Is Disha an intelligent thinking individual? If yes, she has to answer for the consequences of her actions.
This is a country where today the youth are being intimidated. There is a reason behind it, because
ma'am, you're still not answering my question. Okay, specific, I think a point is being raised there by Sanju Verma, then Saravanan and Ms. Gupta want to come back in. Yes, Sanju Verma, quickly, what's your point?
Yes.
Then Saravanan and Ms. Gupta want to come back in. Yes.
I've been waiting.
You're constantly speaking between everybody.
May I?
Yes, go on, Sanju Verma. What's your point?
Padmaja, the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is that, the same lot which continuously questions the Modi government and says this is a fascist government, it is trying to curb freedom of speech, freedom of expression. This is the same lot which actually, who are their idols? Their idols are the likes of an Umar Khalid. Their idols are the likes of a Sharjil Imam. Till Delhi police filed a 900-page charge sheet and Umar Khalid and Sharjil Imam were sent to prison, this lot kept eulogizing them and glorifying them. This is the same lot which till today has not spoken out a word against Sampath Raj, an ex-Congress mayor from Bengaluru. He is the man responsible for that horrific August 2020 riots in Bengaluru. Has Sujata Paul got the guts to speak against Sampath Raj? No.
Sujata Paul.
She will faff around and beat around the bush. This is the same lot which refused to admit that Tahir Hussain had chopped Ankit Sharma, a 26-year-old IB officer. Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia kept supporting Tahir Hussain till July forced them to wash their hands of Tahir Hussain. So this is the Tupde gang. We don't need a bhashan from you. You please learn how to win elections. You've been routed and
and Sujata Paul, when we talk about the youth being intimidated, let me quickly quote to you an example, and I'm sure Mr. Saravanan will also associate with it. When on the 15th of September 2012, among the thousands of people who in Tamil Nadu were booked for sedition were 4 boys between the ages of 15 and 16 years, and they were arrested by the police for the anti-Kudankulam protests. So that has also happened in 2012, and we all know very well who was in government at that time. So if you're talking about crushing youthful idealism, please let's not look too far. Yes, Saravanan, is it too soon to start judging people's innocence or otherwise? Because remember, after the 26th of January violence, your party among others had challenged the police to say, if there is a conspiracy, then unmask it. If there is a conspiracy, then arrest those people. And when the arrests happen, you say it's a witch hunt. How does this square? Mr. Saravanan.
Oh, yeah. Padmaja, the BJP government is very, very good at labeling people. First, it was Tukde gang, urban Naxals, anti-nationals. Now this toolkit gang, Lutyens gang. Then what is that? One more gang, Khan Market gang. So they are very, very good in labeling people and trying to move the discourse away from free speech.
Because you are gangs. BJP.
Wait, madam. I listen to you. Have patience to listen to me. Have patience to listen to me. Yeah. Can I speak now? See, the entire legal process.
Yes, sir, go on. Please make your point.
That's what, see, the entire legal process has been subverted here. When she was taken away from Bangalore to Delhi, there should have been a transit remand. The transit warrant, she should have been produced before a magistrate at Bangalore. That was not happened, and there was no legal representation for her in Delhi. The magistrate ought not
Sir,
to
there was legal representation. Legal aid sent her a lawyer. She did not have a lawyer present, which is why the Delhi legal aid sent her a lawyer. Let me show you actually a copy of the order.
Why she was not produced before a magistrate at Bengaluru?
Sir, okay. So let me quote to you. In fact, we have the name of the lawyer here as well. Legal aid counsellor Shri Pramod Singh for the accused present. His name is there in the order. Shri Pramod Singh from the Delhi Legal Aid was present for Disha. She decided to argue her case herself. So it's not as if she was not given legal representation. Transit remand was not there. Unlawful arrest. Answer that. Sai Deepak, let's address this also. You have legal concerns. Let's have all of them addressed. Sai Deepak, there was no genuine transit remand, which is why the transport of Disha from Bengaluru to Delhi was done in an illegal fashion. Please address that.
See, frankly speaking, suddenly we seem to be switching from general vague allegations about this entire investigation and the basis of it to inane specifics, because the first allegation that has been touted out in the public domain is that she never got legal representation. And despite me reading out the order, the gentleman from DMK just said that she never got legal representation. The police has issued a statement very specifically saying that during the course of the interrogation at her place in the presence of her mother, she was allowed to reach out to her counsel. She even contacted her counsel. Regardless of the fact that the counsel did not reach the court in time, she was given a legal aid counsel also. She was duly represented. The nature of the order is very, very specific, that she committed certain acts which amounted to tampering of evidence for the purposes of investigation, that she has been in touch with people who are perhaps pro-Khalistani elements. Therefore, her investigation is necessary so that they can identify these people. The other person who's actually worked with her on the toolkit, Nikita Jacob, is actually absconding. That is the word that is to be used at this particular point of time. And we are being told that we are supposed to focus on the transit remand, we are supposed to focus on sedition and free speech. Nobody wants to specifically address the facts of this particular case because the law is against them. The facts of this particular case are against them. They have no idea at all what they're talking about. They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
We cannot give a go-by to procedure. We cannot give a go-by to
the rule of law here is very clear. You started off by saying that she is not represented by a lawyer. When countered on that specific issue, factually you did not have a response. When specifically being told that the court requires an investigation because they have to identify who the pro-Khalistani elements are, you have no response to that particular thing. You don't understand the distinction between dissent, free speech and sedition.
You know, it started off as a criticism of an arrest, as suppression of dissent. And now we're talking about process and in the way in which process is allegedly not followed. At least in 3 such objections that has been called out as false. The objections have been called out. However, in the larger picture of the probe itself, is this a witch hunt or just a course of an investigation, which in the end, perhaps Disha Ravi could be proven innocent as well. But is it okay to outright call it a witch hunt against dissenters and hand out clean chits? I leave that to your best judgment. For the time being, thank you very much, all gentlemen, Sanju Verma and Reena Gupta and Sujata Paul for joining me on Debate One.